Well, we're back again with yet another No Fluff analysis, and this time we're going to be looking at the Gala Dragalia Remix Summon Showcase running from the 15th of December until the 18th of December UTC. It's a short banner due to being a remix, but features new limited adventurers. Let's cut the fluff and get straight to it with the first adventurer, the 5-star water staff, Dragonyule Lily, also known as Princess Starfall. Dragonyule Lily's first skill is Crystalline Magic, a team-wide burst heal of 87% recovery potency granting 15% strength for 60 seconds, and the Crystalline Power effect for 30 seconds. Crystalline Power grants over damage based on 40% of the user's strength, which is a new name to describe the effect previously introduced by Yukata Cassandra, adding bonus damage and hits to adventurers with the buff. This is shareable for 6 skill share points, but has a higher SP cost when shared compared to Yukata Cassandra. Dragonyule Lily's second skill is Surprise Gift, consuming all stacks of the Starfall strength buff, generated by Lily's first ability, and buffs Lily's strength for 10 seconds by 20, 40, 60, or 100% depending on the number of stacks she has, from 0 to 3. Dragonyule Lily has the standard Staff, Recovery Potency co-ability, and her Chain co-ability grants water units 8% strength for 15 seconds when their hit points are restored, with a cooldown of 10 seconds between activations. Dragonyule Lily's first ability is Saint's Calling. Using Crystalline Magic, Lily's S1 grants her the Saint Starfall Lily effect. Lily's next 3 Force Strikes heal the team member most in need for 108% recovery potency, buffing their max hit points by 15% and generating a stack of Starfall strength, which stacks up to 3 times. Lily's second ability is Heaven's Shield, which grants her full burn and stun resist. Lily's final ability grants her 20% strength when she's at full hit points. So Dragonyule Lily brings a new, versatile addition to the water healer roster due to her dual resistances. Lily's ability to buff max hit points makes her a valuable addition to any team, and her dual resistances mean she can be brought to any endgame fight with no issues. It also makes her very forgiving to bring against the twins, as mistakes such as standing in a ring when you should have stood in a circle or being tagged by a laser are far less likely to be lethal compared to the same mistakes while using single resistance adventurers. Lily's the first water staff and second staff overall to bring over damage, an offensive buff that helps to mitigate the DPS loss from bringing a healer. While I don't think this will push out full Karina compositions, this should help competent standard composition teams push for faster clears. If you're lacking a strong healer such as Zhang Ziya, Dragonyule Lily will be a decent stand-in, but her kit is a tiny bit more complicated than your typical healer. Lily's ideal rotation will involve gaining 3 stacks of Starfall strength after her first use of Crystalline Magic, before using a Surprise Gift to lead directly into a second Crystalline Magic to maximize the overdamage buff. So long as your teammates don't take extreme amounts of avoidable damage, this should be easy enough to manage. But remember, no plan survives contact with the enemy. The second addition to this showcase is the 5-star Shadow Axe Dragonyule Victor, the Festive Commander. Dragonyule Victor's first skill is Candy Cane Offensive, dealing 2000% damage over 5 hits to a target and nearby enemies, dispelling a buff. This is shareable for 5 skill share points. Dragonyule Victor's second skill is Shooting Stars, dealing 2500% damage to a target and nearby enemies, dealing a bonus hit of 500% damage if they're in buff zones created by the user or other adventurers. Dragonyule Victor has the standard Axe defense co-ability, and his Chain co-ability grants shadow units 13% poised strength, which is 13% extra strength when you're in a buff zone. Dragonyule Victor's first ability is Yuletide Tactics. Using Candy Cane Offensive, Dragonyule Victor's S1 grants him the Merry Mobilizer effect. His next Force Strike will create a buff zone for 10 seconds that grants 15% critical rate. Dragonyule Victor has Blindness Resist, and his final ability is Holiday Aid. Using Shooting Stars in a buff zone restores Victor's hit points with 50% recovery potency. So Dragonyule Victor brings chunky mods and a Dispel, as well as getting some bonuses from buff zones. However, only 500% of his potential 3000% damage on his S2 is gated behind the buff zone bonus, so he's not completely reliant on it to deal decent damage. But the fact that he can slowly heal himself by using his S2 in a buff zone means that he can actually be easily used in a team with Grace, since any excess damage he takes through a life shield can be slowly regenerated through his natural damage rotation. A weakness of a lot of characters within a Grace Bellina team against Master Kai is that they'll take a large hit from the opening blast, but lacking Bellina's natural defense buffs means that their life shields have fewer effective hit points. Dragonyule Victor can slowly bring up his health for a slightly bigger safety net without inadvertently healing other teammates, which is a huge complaint that Gala Cleo often incurs. Being able to choose when to put down the buff zone as opposed to it being tied to a skill means that Victor can freely throw out his skills, holding the buff zone for when it'll be best used by the whole team. Against Master Kai, full of purple swipes and unavoidable damage, the flexibility to plan out your rotation and how you use your resources can be a big bonus, though do note that this never saved Gala Cleo. Then again, Gala Cleo just has too many things that make her incompatible. Well, two things. No Dispel and unavoidable healing which clashes with Bellina. Dragonyule Victor commits none of these crimes, so he should be able to find a place in Cayenne rooms without upsetting too many people. It is, however, slightly dead content, but that will change once Legend Cayenne rolls around. Also right up on the showcase is Gala Cerise. She doesn't have a solid place in the Legend Volk meta, but she's usable in non-cheese rooms. While not part of the showcase, but also part of the update, we have a limited 5-star Wyrmprint, Dragonyule Dreaming, granting 10% Bleeding Punisher alongside Bow's Boon, which grants skill haste. So 10% Bleeding Punisher isn't huge, but it has the advantage of not being hampered by resistances. This could see some use in longer fights, though for elements such as light and water it'll be considered pretty niche, since Halloween Edward and Halloween Akasha aren't widely used. Then again, bleed adventurers in general aren't widely used. I don't think this will change too much, but it looks like the foundation for Bleed's return is slowly being built. And that's about it. Both the new units are decently strong additions, with Dragonyule Lily being our second ever adventurer with over damage. Dragonyule Victor doesn't bring anything particularly huge, but with Opera Karina and Nevin as previous additions, it seems like Shadow is slowly filling with buff zone adventurers. Neither of these additions are must-haves, but if you're anything like me, you'll pull simply because they're limited. Why not catch me later on Twitch? I'll be streaming pulls on this showcase starting 9:30 PM GMT, so long as I can get this edited for Tuesday. Well, wish me luck. Well, it'll also be late since you'll already be watching this. Either way, links are in the description below. As always, thank you very much for watching until the end. Take it easy, stay safe, and I wish you luck in your upcoming pulls.